The Galactic Council's chamber fell silent as Ambassador Vex 9 delivered the verdict with cold, mechanical precision. The Catherian species has been deemed economically unviable for continued protection. Resource allocation to their home world will cease immediately. Captain Sarah Chen watched from the observation deck, her knuckles white against the railing. Around the massive amphitheater, representatives from dozens of species nodded in agreement or simply looked away. The mathematics were simple, they claimed. The Catherians contributed nothing of value to galactic civilization. Their technology was primitive, their resources negligible, their military non-existent. 47 million lives, Chen whispered to her companion, Commander Torres. They're condemning 47 million innocent beings because they don't meet some cosmic profit margin. Torres grimaced. The hegemony raids will begin within a week. Without council protection, the Catherians won't last a month. The Catherians had been discovered only 3 years prior, a gentle, philosophical species that had never developed weapons of war. They spent their lives creating intricate crystalline sculptures that sang in harmonic frequencies, believing that beauty itself was the highest form of contribution to the universe. To the Council, their art was worthless. To humanity, it was priceless. Chen left the Council chambers that day with a decision already forming in her mind. The United Earth Fleet had been a junior member of the Galactic Council for barely a decade, still considered newcomers by most species. Humans were viewed as aggressive but useful, good soldiers, decent engineers, acceptable cannon fodder for the Council's various conflicts. They had no idea what humans were truly capable of when pushed to the edge. Within hours, Chen was aboard the UEF Defiance, racing toward the Catherian homeworld of Lumina. Behind her followed the entire Third Fleet, nearly 200 ships, that had been conducting routine exercises in nearby space. The official story was a navigational error. The truth was an act of defiance that would either save a species or destroy humanity's standing in the galaxy forever. "Admiral, we're receiving multiple hails from Council enforcement vessels," reported Lieutenant Park from the communications station. "They're ordering us to withdraw immediately." Admiral Hassan, who had taken overall command of the mission, stood firm on the bridge of the flagship UEF Retribution. "Tell them we're experiencing communication difficulties. All ships maintain formation and continue to Lumina." The first wave of hegemony raiders arrived just as the human fleet entered the Lumina system. The raiders were expecting an undefended world, easy prey for their slave ships and resource extractors. Instead, they found 200 human vessels, arranged in protective formation around the planet. "Unknown vessels, you are in violation of Galactic Council Decree 47 Alpha," came the transmission from the lead hegemony ship. "Withdraw immediately or face the consequences." Admiral Hassan opened a channel to all frequencies. "This is Admiral Hassan of the United Earth Fleet. Any vessel attempting hostile action against the Catherian homeworld will be considered an enemy of humanity. You have one opportunity to withdraw." The hegemony commander's response was a plasma barrage aimed directly at the Defiance. What followed became known as the Lumina Stand, a battle that redefined humanity's place in the galaxy. The hegemony had superior firepower and numbers, but they had never faced anything like human tactical innovation combined with desperate determination. Where other species fought with predictable strategies refined over millennia, humans fought with the chaos of natural selection, every ship captain adapting, improvising, evolving their tactics in real time. Captain Chen led a squadron of fast attack craft in devastating hit-and-run strikes, while heavy cruisers like the Retribution formed an unbreakable wall around Lumina. When conventional weapons proved insufficient, human engineers began modifying their ships mid-battle, turning cargo haulers into makeshift rams and retrofitting mining equipment into siege weapons. The tide turned when Commander Torres made an impossible decision. His ship, the UEF Endurance, was critically damaged and falling toward Lumina's atmosphere. Instead of evacuating, he aimed his ship directly at the largest hegemony vessel, AI dreadnought 3 times the size of any human ship, and activated the reactor overload. The explosion illuminated half the star system and broke the spine of the hegemony assault force. As the surviving raiders fled, something unprecedented happened across the galaxy. Other species began to take notice. The Altarians, long oppressed by the hegemony, saw the human fleet's victory and declared their own independence. The Zephyrians offered to share their advanced shield technology with Earth. Even some council members began quietly expressing support for humanity's actions. On Lumina's surface, the Catherians emerged from their crystal cities to witness human ships standing guard in their skies. Their response was to create the largest harmonic sculpture in their history, a crystalline spire that sang with frequencies, spelling out a simple message in the common galactic tongue. Thank you. Months later, Admiral Hassan stood before the Galactic Council once again. This time, humanity wasn't asking for permission. The protection accords have been signed by 47 species, Hassan announced, placing a data crystal on the central podium. Any member of this alliance agrees to defend any other member against aggression, regardless of their economic or military contribution to galactic civilization. Ambassador Vex 9's mechanical voice carried a hint of what might have been surprise. The Council cannot sanction this violation of established protocols. Hassan smiled, an expression that had become legendary among both allies and enemies. The Council doesn't need to sanction it. We're not asking for permission to protect the innocent. We're informing you that we will. The vote was close, but the Council ultimately chose to recognize the protection accords rather than face a war with the growing human alliance. The Catherians were granted full protection status. Their crystal cities became pilgrimage sites for artists throughout the galaxy, and humanity earned something far more valuable than military victories. They earned the respect of every species that valued compassion over calculation. Years later, when young Catherian sculptors asked their elders about the great spire that sang of gratitude, they would learn the story of the day the galaxy's newest species showed the oldest what it truly meant to be civilized. Humanity had risen not through conquest, but through a simple, radical act, choosing to protect those who could not protect themselves.